Good evening, everyone. It is 6:01 p.m. I call this meeting to order. My name is Joe Shy. The mayor is unavailable tonight, so I am filling in his stead. I always forget. Today is August 24th, Vader City Council meeting. You're welcome. Roll call.
Okay, Andy Wilson.
Present.
Joe Shy.
Present.
Leona Hunter Sander Hunter.
President.
Oh, gosh. Okay. Jason Daly.
Here.
Mike Parson has asked to be excused, and the mayor has also asked to be excused.
All right, thank you. We have a quorum. Pledge of Allegiance. Andy, will you do the honors?
I pledge allegiance
to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
There are two items on the mayor's report. First is the National Day of Service. It's a reminder. It's on Saturday, September 9th at 9 o'clock until noon at Warden Park. We'll have several volunteers, I believe, from the Castle Rock School District that the mayor's announced before. And the public is absolutely welcome. It's a day for everybody. Yes?
Will they be doing the single women in need like they did last year? And if so, is there a list if someone was in that position and needed assistance?
Have you heard anything else? The mayor's
I
talked about
don't
the city
know
jail
yet,
before.
But yeah, I would talk to the mayor. I don't know any of that information at this
Okay.
time.
Thank
Right.
you.
Mhm. And the second item is an update that on September 14th, there will be a draft wastewater treatment facility plan update presentation. That must be from Civil West then, regarding our wastewater treatment facility. Council reports. Anyone with council report?
I do.
Mm-hmm.
I finally touched bases with Jim Mabbitt, in charge of the Castle Rock schools, and he's on the same page as Scott and I are as far as doing something about that before school starts. He will be here on September 7th, and hopefully he will present a few options that we have. He said usually the biggest hurdle with anything like the street issues is the city. So we'll see what he suggests. I told him it's been a big issue that Scott has brought to our attention time and time again. It doesn't seem to be improving any, correct? Approving maybe a little bit. But anyway, he's got a few things up his sleeve that he's going to present on the 7th. Also, I passed this out, and I know we're going to talk about the drainage and maintenance, but you all have this, and this is just some prices. I think, of course, the $4,100 won't go very far, but I think we could get a lot done. And Judy was kind enough to talk to Rex for me regarding the city flushing out the drains that are flushable. So, and, I know there was an issue as far as where, a dump truck and where to put all of the stuff that we dig out. I am in need of fill. So the city is more than welcome, as long as it's not just garbage, to dump it there on my property, so that would eliminate that cost. So then all we're doing is looking either at renting a machine or finding somebody. I see machines all over the place. Surely there must be somebody around that would love to come and do this, and maybe not cost quite as much as the rental cost would be.
There's a rental, there's got to be rent and tractor work for rent on West Side Highway. I should stop by and see what he does and what he rents that out for.
Yeah, I think we could get a lot done before winter hits for a lot of these drainage issues, because I kind of walked around and I peeked and I can see through a lot of them. I think they just need the ditches dug out and then water cleaned them out, the pipes themselves. The pipes, whatever you want to call those, the storm drain pipes, they look okay. A lot of them do. I think we just need to get what we can get done before winter comes.
Right.
I think you're going to find that our basic money is going to be going across the streets, like down here by the post office where the drain pipe is already being crushed and it's crushing. This is where our big expense is, because some of it's blacktop, it's gonna have to be re-blacktop and everything else.
Yeah,
And that's where a lot of our money is gonna come from.
and that might be an issue, oh, I'm sorry. That might be an issue we can actually start budgeting for and address that. And get done what we can get done with the monies that's been found so far. And I think John was concerned about working on the highway road there. Well, a lot of that is my property, and they're welcome to run their machinery down my property so they're not actually on the highway. And then the others are 2 vacant lots, so I don't think a lot of that would be a big issue as far as being out on the highway or the new paved highway and everything. Just ideas throwing out there. I think we can get a lot done with $4,100 if we just put our minds to it and focus. 4,100, isn't that what we have? Yeah, I think that's what Mike found was $4,100. And I don't know, but I agree. I think we need to look into people that have the equipment and they will come and do the work. And just walking around looking at them, really, I think we just scooped it out and flushed out the pipes. I think a lot of these areas would be good. I don't know anything about it, but in my little mind, that would solve a lot of our issues.
I think we'll have some more talk on this during the city business portion too. So we have some other information. So, great.
One thing you're gonna have to do that you don't have here is gonna take quite a bit of 3/4 minus to refill across the pipe. You can't just put dirt back in.
Nope.
You're talking about the,
Backfill.
oh,
Okay.
And Reggie says the same thing, you've got to have the backfill.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. Any other councilman reports? All right. Agenda approval.
I move that we approve the city council meeting agenda for September 24th, 2017.
We have a motion from Mr. Wilson to approve the agenda for 8/24/2017 as written. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Ms. Sandra Hunter. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Minutes approval.
I make a motion, we approve the amendment to the city council meeting on 7/27/2017.
Well, we have a motion to approve the amended city council meetings on 7/27/2017. Do we have a second for the amended portion?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Daly. All in favor of approving the minutes for 7/27/2017, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. We do still need a decision on the 8/10/2017 city council meeting.
Well, I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes for the city council meeting on 8/10/2017.
So a motion from Mr. Daly to approve the council meeting minutes for 8/10/2017. Do we have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Ms. Sandra Hunter. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Voucher approval.
I make a motion that we approve vouchers for the 1st of August 2017 in the amount of $23,136.70, and the end of August 2017 $15,139.50, and the August 2017 total of $38,276.20.
We have a motion by Mr. Daly to approve the vouchers as written. Do we have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Wilson. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. According to the agenda, we have no special reports tonight. Is that correct? Yes, it's correct. Public comment.
We have 2 people signed up. Cindy Radcliffe is first.
I have to go second again.
She keeps putting her name down first. She can't go first. She can't go first. Hard act to follow. Judy Costello, 709 A Street, Vader. First, I'd like to publicly thank Rich Bryce from the Lions Club for a beautiful job he's done on the planters. Second, the backpack program at the community center. We gathered in 22 backpacks, 2 large boxes of school supplies, everything from tissues to crayons to paper, etc. And they were delivered to Tracy. And their day is tomorrow, I believe, for their fun day at the church for handing out all of those items. Next thing is, we had a solar eclipse party at the Little Falls Community Center on Monday, and 12 of us had a grand time, and we had solar cookies and etc. And we shared our glasses, but we really had a good time. So I wanted to report all is well there. And the third thing is really simple. I don't think the town crier does us any justice. Very unhappy with their representation of Vader in the paper over the last 6 months or so. We have to fight, beg, and plead to get any advertising done or just anything. We worked really hard to get something for 4th of July and couldn't quite get their attention. The new school, I've asked them 3 times to do something, etc. So I have been following the PL Sun for the last year. And as simple as this looks, a little gal named Chrissy makes 3 pages front and back, really interesting. And so there is a group of about 5 of us are thinking that we may have the Vader Buzz, B-U-Z-Z. And that way we can just maybe once a month, starting in September, take in all the information we can, pass it around. The PL Sun advertises all their businesses, comings and goings, garage sales, for sale items, etc. So it's just a great way, but it might be another avenue for us as a community to reach out to each other and make this available once a month. And like I said, there's about 5 of us who get together and just put everything in it. So my report. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. That's neat. All right. Second.
Well, Judy was second, so now we're
Okay.
having Cindy Radcliffe.
Yeah,
We're counting down.
Yeah.
Number 1.
The big countdown.
Cindy Radcliffe, 1020 7th Avenue. A few weeks ago, my husband and I received a notice of violation. And while I won't discuss the merits or the lack thereof of that notice of violation here tonight, I would like to talk about the citizen's right to privacy and the expectation of privacy on their own property. And by the way, I'd like this to be a matter of public record. A city employee who walks onto private property violates the 4th Amendment of the U.S., the 7th Amendment of Washington State Constitution, and the Vader City Ordinance 2017-02. On the handout that my husband is handing out to you, it's that portion of the ordinance I just stated that says that before a city employee can come onto any private property, they have to have consent or a civil warrant. They are not allowed to walk around a locked gate. They're not allowed to walk past private property signs. They're not allowed to walk around a house, into somebody's backyard and take pictures and look in windows and do whatever else they want to do back there. They have to have consent or a civil warrant. And we are not the only ones that have received letters of that kind, and have also noticed that the pictures that are attached to those notices have been taken on private property. Now, if you want to stand on the street and take pictures and notice violations all day long, go right ahead. But the minute you step onto my property or anybody else's private property, you're breaking the law, and you're not allowed to do it. One man told me that he learned that his house had been condemned by that letter. Had no idea he was living in a condemned house, and that was not done by due process. I think the city council members would do well to look up Hilldale, Utah. Something similar happened there in the last couple of years, and finally the U.S. government stepped in, sued the city, and removed the city council members and the mayor for actions taken by city employees. So Hilldale, Utah would be something that would be helpful to look at. A lot of similarities are going on in the city of Vader right now. I'm pretty sure that the city council members probably never see those letters. They probably never see the pictures attached to the letters. You probably have no idea what's going on with that, because I don't think the mayor tells you what's going on. And maybe he doesn't have to, but you should know, because these violations are happening not just to me, but to several other people. The city council has the authority to stop this from happening. They can issue, whether through a motion, I'm not really sure what the steps are, but they can issue something saying that whoever is doing this must follow that ordinance and get consent from property owners or the person who lives there, or get a warrant before they step onto private property. Now, I know that at some point the mayor will say that, this is all a bunch of hooey and I'm lying and, I'm a hateful person or whatever. And he will say, I'm sure that the city attorney is all on board and everything's yay bob. But nobody really believes that an attorney is going to say it's okay to violate private property rights. No one's going to say it's okay to walk 100 feet onto my property, walk around my house, look in my windows, and take pictures of my private property. Attorney's not going to risk their license for that. So, again, I would like to instruct the council that in some way instruct city employees that they are not to violate that ordinance that you guys have already voted on, that specifically says you have to have consent or a civil warrant before you violate private property. Thank you.
City business. Item number 1, update on stormwater drainage maintenance. I believe you have the update.
I do.
All right.
When I got back from my time off, I listened to the council meeting, and unfortunately, not all the information that you guys received about the process or the projects themselves and where we were at with it was correct. So we can kind of delete that last the last little bit of information. Where we were at the time is that I had given John the list back of the projects that he had provided to us, which you guys see here, and had asked him to write down what he needed for the projects. Did he need rental equipment? Did he need a professional to do some of the work that he didn't know how to do or wasn't able to do, or what exactly did he need? And that's where we were at. We had the $4,100 set aside that council had already approved, and so as of the last council meeting, we were still waiting for that back from John. That's where we were. And so when I got back, I took that list that John provided and just kind of typed it up here for you to see basically what he had provided back. So you see those on the first page, there's those 3 projects that he feels comfortable doing with his ability. He would, however, like to have another body to help him with directing traffic. It does require, as you can see, rental of an excavator and a dump truck. And you see I checked around and checked 4 different places, and they were all pretty darn close, but there's one company that was just slightly less than the others. So it looks like it'll be right just under $600. This amount doesn't include tax, so I guess it'd be right around $600 or so to rent for one day. And he figures he can get all the scooping done, he thinks, in one day that needs to be done. So, and then if you look on the second page, this project is all, let's see, this one is, Evergreen Rural Water is a nonprofit company or nonprofit organization that helps local communities with their utilities, their water and sewer and stormwater utilities. And they have a smoke testing machine, and they have scheduled with John to come out on the 13th to smoke test along that section along the highway, along 7th Street, as you can see here, to see if they can find where any breaks might be in the line from the post office down to Annanen Road. I suspect if we have another location that needed that, he could do that as well, but September 13th is scheduled for that. We've tried to scope, and with Winlock, we didn't have luck getting the scoping done. So, but this is free, so we're gonna go ahead and let them, see what they can find for us for that 8th Street project. And then the remaining 4 projects are ones that require, as Andy was stating, digging up roadway and replacing culverts and some things that John didn't feel comfortable being responsible for with his experience level. And so, especially, laying down pavement again and making sure the roadway was built up properly and the proper gravel and all of that. So some of these projects have a little bit of the scooping involved, which he could take care of when he does the first projects on the front page. But any of the going across the roadway, and that's what I haven't got quotes on yet. I am continuing to check into that and getting quotes. I see that Miss Hunter, I'll get it right one of these days, has some information already, which is great. That'll get us started. And but in any event, I'm working on quotes for that to see how much it would cost to hire somebody. The project along the highway there. Part of the problem with working along the highway is that the State Department requires us to use certain traffic control. And that requires usually 2 flaggers, and we don't have any flaggers. So that's one reason why that project is listed here. So, but we can check into that further. But that's kind of where we're at. We're working on it, and I'll have more information for you as we move on. So when we get some quotes, I'll have that for you.
Great. Did we want to take some action on the first page, since this is stuff that...
I don't know that you need to at this point. The first stuff, the mayor can authorize to do that, because you guys have already set the money aside to do it. So, I mean, we can rent the equipment, and I don't think we need any special approval for that. He can work on that. But the mayor has been gone, so he hasn't seen this.
Okay,
So,
that's great. Is there any other discussion on stormwater at this time?
It's gonna be expensive.
I do have one question. On the the project that goes to Yangmin Road, aren't they gonna take that all the way down to the creek for blockages? I mean,
possibly, yeah. The map I made didn't go all the way down there, but yeah, they might need to.
Just verifying that.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of senseless not to.
Yeah.
Okay. We have a comment from the audience.
I have a comment that I would like to add a person's name who has a backhoe and who does work, and his name is
Mr. Tryon, is it Marvin?
Marvin Tryon.
$65 an hour. And he has a backhoe and a tractor.
What was his last name again?
Tryon.
Marv, he's a good
Marv.
guy.
Jay knows him.
Mhm.
Holly and
Good
Marv.
idea.
He's looking for work.
Yeah.
Just to add that to
Always
your
want
list
something
of
to do, yeah.
tools. Yeah, tools in your toolbox.
Excellent.
Would he have to be like added to like a short work roster kind of thing?
It depends on the size of the project. It goes by what the cost of the project is.
Wasn't it
And
3,000?
I can never remember.
I think it was 3,000 or less, then you didn't need to.
Something like that. It may even be greater than that.
Yeah.
I don't think this project, these small, well, John can do the work, and that's only $500 or $600 for John to do the work, as far as additional cost out.
Mhm.
So, but as far as the things on the last page, that's just, yeah, that's gonna need somebody who can do the asphalt.
Other. Yes, in the back row.
I would like to thank the city council and whoever was instrumental in hiring John Flack. Our road finally got cleared on the opposite side of the street for us. And I just wanted to say thank you.
Oh, great. It's always good to hear good things about our city employees. All right. Ms. Costello?
And that's
sorry.
for today.
Excellent. We'll come back to you later.
Will the A Street project encompass on your picture for that one that's broken that needs the pavement done?
Possibly. The issue with that is we don't know what's down there, and so it is being considered in the project. It's a possibility depending on what we find. So it's one of the unknowns that are listed in the project. I think that's about covers it.
And this is one that Andy's always talking about down there.
Yeah. Anything else on item 1?
If the fire department's okay and wouldn't charge us to flush these out, wouldn't that be a good way to see what's blocked and what's actually just full of dirt and mud and
Sure.
grass and whatever?
Absolutely.
We could probably save a lot
Sure.
just by going forward and asking if that can be something that we can take care of.
Yep, that will be added to the report back to the mayor. All the information you provided will be.
And as far as the dump truck, I mean, that seems like a huge cost. Like I say, if the city has a trailer or something, they're welcome to dump this on my property and eliminate
Right.
that cost.
Right. Absolutely.
I'd like to
We'll
build
check
it
on
way up. And all the water's gonna go down to Jason.
I have dirt in my backyard that you can have if you can come get it.
I will do that.
All right.
Years ago, this is exactly what we used to do. The fire department would go flush out different lines that we would used to have the problems with. But now with Lewis County having our water, there goes your water down the tube. They'd have to work with Lewis County Public Works to use the water, period.
Well, a couple more months and they're gonna have a lot of water they can take from my property to use.
You suck it right off the pond, huh?
If they can pull from a well, I have a well, they can take all of my water and put it in their truck and flush out the line. How's that?
All right.
There's always a solution.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else on item 1? No? All right. Moving on. City business item 2. Council to consider ordinance 2017-05, update to planning committee policies. Our appointed planning committee would like to change the regularly scheduled meetings from Mondays, first Mondays, to the third Thursday.
Sounds good to me. I would like to make a motion that we approve the ordinance 2017-05, that allowing the planning committee to change its time from first Mondays of each month at 5:30 to the third Thursday of each month at 6 p.m.
All right. We have a motion on the floor to change the meeting times.
The middle week.
Do we have a second?
That doesn't interfere with anything else.
But for the week in between the two cities.
The third Thursday, there's no other meetings on the third. We meet on the second and fourth,
Yeah, 6 o'clock.
so they would meet on the third.
What was the time again, Mary?
6 p.m.
Thank you.
There's a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Mrs. Sander Hunter. Any other discussion? All in favor of approving ordinance 2017-05, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. We have reached the end of our meeting agenda. The time is 6:30 p.m. Meeting adjourned.
It's a wrap.